Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Super Sentai Power Rangers, the whole shebang. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because Super Sentai is rumored to end 50 years. After 50 years, they're like, we're done. But they're going to retool it into the new universe. Um, I guess they're going to call it something different, which I have to wonder, like, you know, if something originated in another country or whatever, and then you kind of work with that country or whatever to create its own thing or whatever in the United States, I feel like, okay, why cannot the Japanese version of these shows show up in America now? Because the reason why I'm saying that is because y'all know I watch a lot of Asian television shows, um, Asian dramas, and I'm just gonna say Asian dramas in general. And I've seen two versions of the same show. One that was Taiwanese, and the other one was Japanese, vice versa, or whatever. And they're played in both countries. You know what I'm saying? Here's the Japanese version of this one. Here's the Korean version, or here's the Taiwanese version. And I feel like now is the time to allow other countries' a version of the same product to be shown in the United States. And the reason why Power Rangers is, I mean, Super Sentai is ending it is because it's the Japanese is trying, Toho is trying to set up their new universe of their version of Power Rangers or Super Sentai in other countries, but in their control, which makes sense because you don't want to deal with United States anyway. And then you got Hasbro, who decided that they wanted to get rid of, Super Sentai, that they didn't need Super Sentai, that they can do everything by themselves. But we saw the last couple of seasons of Power Rangers was terrible when they tried to be LGBT friendly, female empowerment, have a female Red Ranger, and they really wanted to hone in on diversity and inclusion. No white people really on the team, hardly. Like, and ain't nobody got time for all that. Ain't nobody got time for all that. And people just don't want to see it. But some people are discovering Super Sentai and realizing, like, damn, why did we not get this in America? And I have to go back and wonder why we didn't get this in America. You could have just easily had them dub, because there was a lot of shows that were dubbed in English anyway. So why you just didn't do it here? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how you thought, oh, let me go ahead and do this Power Rangers thing because it is for kids or whatever. But at the same time, y'all need to understand, like, children are not stupid, and sometimes there are some shows are for the kids, and it has a little bit of violence, because if you have these heroes fighting villains or whatever, wouldn't you want it to be real life? Wouldn't you want it to be a little bit realistic or whatever? Um, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, this is it for Super Sentai," but no, Toho is trying to go around the distribution rights, because now that Hasbro have it, they don't want the Super Sentai footage at all. They want to do their own thing. And let's be honest, y'all didn't like, yeah, we don't like it or whatever. And Super Sentai is better. I'm starting to go back, and I'm going to go back from the beginning, and I'm going to work my way all the way from the beginning all the way till now for the Super Sentai franchise, because I didn't realize until I got older, but by then I was still caught up in Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the characters or whatever. But the problem is with America, they never let the other parts of the franchise grow. Like, think about it, they keep doing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Okay, I get it. I love Tommy. I love Kimberly. I love Trina. I love, Zach, Jason, all of them, right? Billy, the whole shebang. But at the same time, when there was barely no love for Zeo. Um, Power Rangers in Space, I mean Power Ranger Turbo was cool first part, but the movie, and then let's be honest, Justin was a problem. Then you do half a Turbo, you get rid of the cast that the people love, because you know you what I'm saying, you didn't, you know what I mean, you didn't allow the other stuff to grow, and then on top of that you combine several seasons of Power Rangers with, Super Sentais together, so you didn't even allow those Super Sentais to even be something of their own. You know what I mean? Like you didn't even try to let them be whatever they were, because and then now that we have these comic books or whatever, they have their own universe, they have their own history and lore, which is fine. Again, I'm not saying that what America didn't do for Power Rangers, I'm never going to take that away from them. But at the same time, you took away Super Sentai from us as well. You know what I mean? And we never got a chance to. Now you got Toho who wants to expand on the franchise, but it can't really do it because Hasbro have the rights in America to do it. So then they want to do something different. You know what I mean? And you know, they're talking about that they're going to end it with number one Sentai Go Ranger, which is airing right now, and it will mark its finale, which will be the end of the finale that launched in 1975. And with that, nobody's really watching the regular Power Rangers because they tried it on Netflix, it didn't work. That means nobody's really doing it. I think Cosmic Fury was the last thing, and then they talking about doing a reboot of the Power Rangers. But the problem is, without Super Sentai, and because Power Rangers of late has been moving away from Super Sentai, people are just like, we really don't care, because that was the whole point. That's what made Power Rangers special, is that you're combining American actors and moments with the Japanese footage. But if you're not even going to do that anymore, then there's really no point of Power Rangers anymore. There's no point of us doing Power Rangers if you're just going to ignore what made the franchise special. It felt like a collaboration, but then at sometimes y'all would skip over some of these these Super Sentais. You wouldn't even do movie specials or anything, and then you keep marketing on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like you don't really do anything else. You haven't had no specials or anything. Like with the Super Sentai, the actors came back several times to reprise their roles or whatever and something like that. Then with Saban and them being cheap towards the actors, it turned a lot of the actors off to the Power Ranger franchise in general themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them refused to come back because of how they were treated, because of how, you know, um, the franchise, Haban, paid them, and how they were treated, and how they were getting replaced without even realizing that they were getting replaced until, hey, yeah, instead of a raise, you guys are getting replaced. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And then you have the leader of the franchise. He's dead now. So with his death, it is kind of the end of Power Rangers, because again, you're not doing anything with them. Have you ever decided like, hey, let me get the Time Force Rangers back together? You know what I'm saying? Or the fact that when you did have it, you made sure that there was barely no blood. You made sure that things were censored. You made sure the characters couldn't kiss or romanticize or whatever. But then later on, you have no problem trying to throw LGBT bullshit topics in our face. Like, come on now, you can have it both ways. And I don't blame Tohei for trying to figure out how we get around this. It's the same thing as like I blame like 4 Kids. I don't understand how, in the United States, that if 4 Kids isn't going to dub these these animes anymore, then let Japan do it. If Japan said like, hey, we got our own dubbing team, or we can hire a dubbing team to do the rest of these franchises. Like, a lot of people still want to see, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX 5Ds completed. Other shows that had it, and you saw what they did with Pokemon as well. You know what I mean? So why can't we? You know what I mean? Why can't we just get the original Japanese version of this stuff done correctly? A lot of us are mature. The world is aware of Japan. The world is aware of Super Sentai. So why can't you just do it correctly? You know what I mean? So I mean, that's how I look at it. I know it's kind of crazy, to be honest, but it is really kind of strange that we're seeing the end of Super Sentai because Hasbro brought the Power Ranger franchise, don't want anything to do with Super Sentai, but because they have the rights distribution and some of the characters or some of the costumes are rated in the United States, they have to go around it in order to still do Super Sentai, but for everyone around the world, so they'll be able to see it this time because they want to expand. And a lot of that Power Ranger stuff, a lot of the Super Sentai stuff is locked in Japan because of the fact that a lot of us are unaware of these Power Rangers. I mean, not Power Rangers, but these Super Sentais. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I get it. I just think that maybe we need to change the rules and regulations on a franchise, especially we're not going if you're not going to treat it correctly anymore, then I feel like Japan as the country who created it has every right to want to back out of the deal and want to be like, hey, if they don't want to work with us anymore, then they don't need our footage anymore, and they shouldn't have rights to our characters anymore. That's how I look at it. But those are my thoughts. So much you guys think. What do you think about the Power Rangers? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comment section below. Were you a Power Ranger fan? Were you a Super Sentai fan? Are you saddened that Super Sentai is ending, but is creating another version of itself just to bypass all the nonsense that the United States is doing right now to um, censor it? Let me know, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, everybody. Do 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 do.